Good morning, everyone. This is Rodee at EFT Atlantic in Halifax. As always, it's a beautiful day in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I'm so happy to be here. I just got in under the wire. I had been in traffic again. It's a situation in my family that I can't get away until I get my wife and son off to school, and then I can kind of jump in the car and brave the traffic of Halifax, which isn't all that bad, except on Monday mornings when I need to be here with you. My theme for today, well, actually there are two themes for today: anger and procrastination, both of which are things that I work on incessantly for myself. And my son has raised, he's 5.5, almost 6. At the end of January he'll be 6, and he's raised procrastination to a level that I could not imagine. And sometimes when I see that myself is reflected in him and I don't really like it, the other part kicks in and I get angry. And that's what happened this morning. He was dawdling and dawdling and dawdling and not drinking his smoothie and not eating his toast. And he had to be at drama class on time, and his mother was frantic and I was frantic, and we were all frantic. Anybody relate to that? Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you. So this is what these calls are about, to try and help us be a little bit less frantic and a lot more calm inside ourselves. But being humans, being human doings, often we forget to be human beings, and that's what happened to me this morning. So I have been carrying a little bit of guilt, which I will deal with as soon as I'm finished with this call, because I got angry at my son and in a way that I really didn't feel good about. So I'm hoping that you'll join me in a tapping round on anger. I know we all feel anger. You know, anger is a wonderful thing. It helps us know that we're alive. And it helps us know that we have some power. But we also are taught that it's not appropriate for some reason. And in many cases, it's not the anger itself, it's the way we express ourselves. So my expression of anger this morning with my son was not appropriate. But the anger itself came from somewhere inside me, and I need to recognize that. I need to do some EFT around that. I need to talk to my higher power. And I'm sharing this story with you because I think that we all share similar issues at times, and this is probably a pretty common theme. So if you'll start on the karate chop point with me, even though I sometimes have expressed anger inappropriately, I love and accept myself anyway.
I love and accept myself.
I have anger at times.
I have angered at times.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
But it's the way I share it with others that is important.
But it is the way I share it with others that is important.
And in that inappropriate sharing, I forgive myself.
That inappropriate sharing, I forgive myself.
I sometimes have anger. And I always love and accept myself, deeply and completely.
Always love and accept.
Top of the head. Even though I have some anger, inside out, this inappropriate expression of anger, outside out. This inappropriate expression of anger reminds me that I'm human. Under the eye. I love being a human being, and I forgive myself. I love being a human being, and I forgive myself. Under the nose. I am filled with peace and joy.
I am filled.
On the chin. I am free of inappropriate expressions of anger. And I love and accept myself deeply and completely. My heart is filled for love even when I feel angry. I choose, on the collarbone, I choose to be love and to share love, even if I feel angry at the moment. And under the arm. I am filled with peace and joy. I am blessed with good fortune. I really appreciate that some of you are still on the line. I can hear you, and it helps me kind of remember that you're repeating on the tapping sequence. So that's useful this morning. Thank you so much. So what happened? He wasn't eating his toast, and he wasn't drinking his smoothie, and he wasn't getting in the car, and his mother wanted him to get in the car, and I wanted him to get in the car, and I said something to him that I don't feel really good about. And now I'm going to apologize to my son, and we're going to do a little EFT around that. And that's one of the beauties of EFT. When you say something to someone that is hurtful, or can be hurtful, or that they may take as hurtful. You might not even mean it as hurtful. I didn't mean to be hurtful to my son this morning. I would never do that. But I said something that in retrospect he would have taken to be hurtful. And so I have an opportunity now, which is so wonderful with this tool, to repair that damage and to do it in a way that he doesn't have to carry around this kind of voice of dad in his head saying something like, "What is wrong with you that you're so slow?" That's what I said. And I felt horrible about it. I'm starting to get over it at this point. If we're going to live in our guilt, we tend to stop going forward. So it's the recognition of the things that we do that aren't so beautiful that we can then instantly forgive ourselves and forgive those who contributed to our frustration and anger, and move forward so that we find love and inspiration in our hearts again. We're on a journey and we never get it wrong. We're going down a path now that all of us cannot get off. And it's a wonderful, I've been saying this to some of my clients and in my Tuesday night group. We're on a path and we can't get off this path. You might sit down on the bench for a while and take a little breather. You might forget the tap for a couple of weeks, or you might stop practicing Ho'oponopono, or you might get caught up in many moments over many days and just forget that you're a human being first and a human doing second. But the fact is, we always, once we've found this path, come back to the path. And isn't that wonderful? And I am so grateful for that. It's been almost 3.5 years since I kind of started down this journey. It's been a long and wonderful path for me. I've met so many wonderful people, and I intend to meet so many more wonderful people, including many of you out there. Thank you for joining me this morning. I've gone a little over my time. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me, and thank you. This is Rodee in Halifax, and we will see you next week.